Hey there, friends and enemies. JoPaWrites here once again, and today I'm bringing you a brand new Marvel Avengers game video. This is going to be a Miss Marvel endgame build, so I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. If you enjoy my videos, you want to see more like them, I'm on the road to YouTube partner, so I do very much appreciate it. I also stream this live, twitch.tv/JoPaWrites, 9 a.m. Eastern every day, so definitely check it out. But I'm going to jump into it. This build is a stunning reviver build where it's based off using her healing spirit to keep her teammates and herself alive. Now, first off, she's going to have life spark. Healing spirit can be activated while down, bypassing the need to be revived by a teammate. Absolutely clutch. If you're playing solo, this is the #1 perk that I would pick for her all the time. Added to whenever you activate healing spirit, it also revives teammates, which is fantastic. Then you got will to fight, granted additional charge of healing spirit. This is clutch. Multiple healing spirits. You want to keep that ability up at all time, and one of the ways this build is so successful is that I have the charges up a lot. Then we've got too slow, add AoE for the talk to the hand ability. Then patty cake. This defeating enemies by using this ability will have a chance to create heroic orbs. Again, you want your abilities up as much as possible. Then we've got Doctor's Orders. Embiggen has a chance to drop a regen pack, and then also Embiggen has a chance to drop a heroic orb. So when you're defeating enemies using an Embiggen, you're always going to be generating orbs pretty much all the time. Now, this means you're probably going to want to focus more on the trash mobs for your team and less on the big tanky enemies. But you obviously can take out the big enemies as well. Just going to be a lot easier by using your abilities to take out the mobs of enemies rather than the tanks. Then we've got increased amount of heroic energy gained by 1% from dealing damage with light and heavy attacks. Again, heroic energy is absolutely clutch for this build. We've got increases all stun damage by 15%. That's going to be a common theme you're going to see. Perform a takedown spawns a heroic orb. Use your takedowns. If you're not using your takedowns as often as possible in this game, I think you're making a grave mistake. Whip Fist creates concussive blast on impact. Reduces the cost of holding on to an enemy by 40% and 15% chance to generate a regen pack after slamming or throwing a grabbed enemy. I don't use the grab as much as some people for this build. I feel like there's other things that I want to do instead, so I'm not really as concerned with that tree particularly. Then we've got Polymorph. This is where it starts to get good. Increased heroic energy regeneration by 15% while using Polymorph. I have that ability up all the time. Reduces the damage received by 15% while using Polymorph, and increases the amount of stun damage while Polymorph is active by 30%. Again, stun damage is going to be big. Increases the stun damage dealt by Polymorph by another 25%. Yeah, if I'm doing stun damage, I'm doing a lot of damage. That's where that comes in quite a bit. Intrinsic energy recharges the lower the current amount of willpower. That's if you're low. And then finally, Shining Will increases the recovery of willpower. The lower the amount becomes up to 15%. Again, so as you can see, stunning enemies is important. Generating heroic orbs is important. But mostly I'm going to be healing and reviving my team as often as possible. And you're going to see a little bit of gameplay now. So I wanted to show off how to use this build. Enjoy the rest of the video for sure.
On your heart.
Now, what you're going to see here is not on the highest difficulty, but it's going to definitely give a showcase for what this build can do.
Oh man, this hurts.
I kind of want to go down and go. See, healing spirit right there, boom, done, back up. No need for a revive for teammates. I kind of wasted that a little bit just because it wasn't really necessary, but it was good to show off.
These enemies must
Again,
be
that'll
defeated.
revive you, it'll revive your teammates, and then yeah. So I typically would use one of my abilities right from the jump. The reason being, I'm getting so much of my abilities back from this, and also especially if you're using Biggin, you're generating these heroic orbs anyway. So if you have teammates, they'll get them. If you don't have teammates, you're just running by yourself, then you'll have a bunch of them on the floor ready for you after you have used this ability. So that's why I try to use that one right away. As soon as I see a mob of enemies. Take advantage of that for sure. This is when the polymorph comes in handy.
The big guy went down.
Kill him. See, I have mine big and back already.
That's better.
That's how quickly you can get your abilities back in this mode. It's crazy.
You're gonna regret this.
Smash him. So, and the nice thing is, again, when you're using your ability, you're just generating these orbs constantly. And you're stunning, you're doing lots of damage when you stun.
The enemies have been defeated.
Easy business right there.
Okay.
A cause.
The really nice thing about reviving teammates real quick
Aim's here.
with this ability is that it just helps combat flow a lot better. So, again, constantly using takedowns. Your goal is basically to litter the ground with regen and heroic orbs at all times, because it's going to help a ton.
Use the terminal. I'll get you past security.
Pretty simple drone stuff. That slide attack is one of my favorite attacks for her in the game as well. I use it pretty regularly to keep enemies kind of stunned, damaged. Don't forget to use your polymorph. That's the one thing I will say. Whether it's for counters, whether it's just to regen health, your polymorph is something that I think a lot of folks will forget to use often. And that's going to not be a good thing, because that's going to get you a lot out of a lot of problematic situations when you're needing that little bit of health boost, but you don't have your abilities up.
That power core is finished.
And that slam does a lot of damage too, so you're definitely going to want to take advantage of that.
The name's Miss Marvel. Remember it.
one thing to keep in mind that I don't think a lot of folks realize is that
Hey, I like these odds.
There is a chest
The-
with gear close by.
allies that are on your team, when you're doing a mission that's gotta like save the scientist or something of that nature, those dudes also get healed by your abilities as well. So keep that in mind and use that so that way you don't fail and lose ally, because it's easy for them to get killed just because of the way the game works and how like susceptible they are to damage, especially when they're all split up.
Now you've done it.
That guy's like floating. Yeah, so you'll see I'm doing a lot more damage than you would think I would be doing with some of these abilities, mostly because of the stun damage boost is so high. Again, all these takedowns, providing orders everywhere, counterattacks. Legendary item on the ground. All good things.
I'm kind of disappointed it's over.
Now this last one's gonna be pretty
These
straightforward,
enemies
just
must be defeated.
taking down enemies. When you're in Biggin, you do have to watch out for your health bar, because you're not immune to damage even though you take less. So what'll happen is you look like you're fine, and then all of a sudden you'll be down to no health almost in no time. So just be aware of that. It definitely feels like, because of the way the game works, that you could be tankier when you're running in Biggin, but that's not necessarily the case. So basically, if you were just watching there, I used high five twice in a row and got it a third time because of the heroic moves. That's how quickly my abilities are generating at this with this build. So
The enemies have been defeated.
now we've got the final part of this hive. This is going to be the elite enemies.
Every member of the elite team must be defeated. One of their
Her
agents
smash,
is down.
her takedown, and your
Excellent.
and
Another
Biggin
agent
is
down.
fantastic and one of my favorite things.
Well done. That squad member has been neutralized. Another enemy defeated.
Using it. And missed that one time.
Just a flesh wound. Thanks for having my back.
That's the other nice thing, is when you're in the midst of combat and you're just wailing away, you can actually revive your teammates as you go.
He is no longer a
Well,
threat.
again, that wasn't the hardest content in the game, but I did want to show off the abilities, how quickly you can get them back, how quickly the revives help the team and push you to really get back in there and start taking down the enemies as quickly as possible. If you would change anything with the build, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, make sure tuned in for all my future videos. I have a whole playlist of Marvel's Avengers. We're going to be doing more content as I get more characters to level 50, as we take on some more of the endgame content and as it releases. So, thank you for tuning in. My name is JoPaWrites.
We need to
I'll catch
destroy
y'all
as many as we
later.
can.